Alright guys, it's Drug Dog, and I just wanted to show off my new converter platter for this balancing machine. I'm still working on the form factor for this thing. I think I'm going to condense it because there's really not a whole lot going on in here. There is basically like a home computer there with an ECU and a measurement board, a couple of inputs. It's pretty small. It's about the size of a house computer. Then that very thin, liquid crystal display, or I don't know what it is, just a flat screen monitor. I'll have to find a home for these controls that are out of the way. I think I'm gonna put them washing machine style, but then you have to reach across the workpiece. So maybe I'll put them up front here, but then you might bump into them. I'm still not decided. I might build a box off to the side and just transplant everything over. I'm gonna have the screen up here. I've got a floating thing there. Do main power disconnect, wireless keyboard and wireless mouse because you really don't actually use the keyboard much. But I've got the platter dialed in and zeroed out, and I've got a converter here from actually outside my shop. That's not one that I made, but it arrived and looked pretty good and didn't require any weights. There was no weights on it when I got it. So let's see what it says on on my machine. So I want to turn. I always trying to bring the speed up slowly. I'm testing them at 500 RPM now. Just until the VFD starts to make a little bit of noise. I've taken the belts off, and that's not the spindle making that noise. It's actually VFD motor frequency noise. And you can see that the cover is actually bop around a little bit. Just when you put these together, not always is the cover perfectly in perpendicularity with the hub. And I think going forward, I'll try and make sure I get that straight, because when a customer gets underneath their car and sees that, they're not going to be real pumped. So I bet this thing's a few grams off. Okay, so 6 grams at 37 degrees. Bring the speed down. Let's do a second test. Speed up to 500. Turn the machine on. Takes a second for the vibe sensor to plot against the location. Okay, so it's probably gonna read right about the same. I feel like until I really trust this machine, doing a couple tests, I'm getting more and more confident in this machine. It's a very similar result. 5+ grams, a little under 6 grams, just over 5 grams really, in really the same direction. Now, will I add a weight to this? I don't know. I think I might call the people I bought it from and ask what they think. Most of the converters I see come in have quite a bit of weight on them, like 20+ grams. And I don't know if that's really what you want to see. It would be nice if you put every component together perfectly and ended up with a zero balance converter without any weights. But that really doesn't seem to be possible with at least the level of tooling that I have. I will try and preserve like as much perpendicularity and cylindricity between components and stuff like that as I possibly can. But I think just some of the components are just kind of far out there. Like, an OEM stator, how tightly is that balanced? Some of these aftermarket covers, how tightly are those balanced? They're ideally it's coming from a solid forging and a CNC machine, and there shouldn't be really any material density problems, so it should be pretty straight. But you get a stamped steel part that's been welded on a bunch of times, and I'm going in and putting silicon bronze in it, and that's really not a very tightly controlled process. I'm just doing it by eye. Maybe half the dots are bigger than the other half, and it flings it out of balance. And that's why, come back in and check it, put the weights on it. But I just wanted to share that little platter thing that I made. Much better setup than sitting them on that 3-jaw chuck and trying to level them out with a dial indicator. That was a big mess. That was not cool. So I like this a lot better. Hope you guys are good. We'll talk to you later. Bye.